Hey, what's up, everybody? So, if you watch my last video, I ended it by saying I wanted to keep that video as a realistic video. Why? Because I had some very unrealistic dream scenarios that this All Star game that just passed kind of threw my mind and a bunch of Laker fans' minds into. And of course, I don't think it's going to be very difficult for anybody who watched that All Star game to kind of predict what I'm about to say next. I would really, really, really love for the Lakers to acquire either Steph Curry or Dame Lillard at some point in time in the near future. Now, again, realistic? No. No, 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 no. Do not confuse this with me saying I think it's possible or I think or I've heard of it. No. This is a guy dreaming big dreams that are not something that looks possible from this point. Just like I didn't believe it was possible for us to get LeBron James 4 years ago. It was a big dream. Anthony Davis and LeBron James was a big dream. And it's what we have right now. So I'm not ruling anything out in the league. But there are a couple players out there that I want to see wear purple and gold while LeBron is here. Now, if they come after he leaves, of course I welcome them. But this is about them playing with him. And I think he's hinting around that this is his dream scenario too, to be honest. I don't think none of the stuff that he said about these three players recently, and he sent praises their way. I don't think anything's surprising. I don't think anybody would be surprised if he said he wanted to play with these guys at some point, because that's kind of how he operates. But first name, of course, is Steph Curry. Second name is going to be Dame Lillard, and the third name is Devin Booker. I want one of those three players on this team, and Bradley Beal. You could throw him in there, of course. I just want to see LeBron play with one of these elite scoring guards. And it's like with Devin Booker, I look at Devin Booker as a guy he's still a puppy. He's already displayed to us exactly how much upside he actually has. When he had that Celtic game, he went for 70 plus points. Even though they got blown out really bad, it was a bad Phoenix team, but he was on the road in Boston, and that was the best defensive team in the league that year, and he went into their house and scored over 70 points. Clearly, this is somebody who's not normal. I think he was only 21 when he did it. Like, that was not normal. There's levels of greatness, and he displayed a level of greatness that you just don't see very often. So now that we all know that he can do that, he's always been a consistent 30 points caliber scorer. Even as a rookie, he was capable of putting up 30 points, believe it or not. And he's just been playing for a Phoenix team that has really struggled up until this point, because they look good this year. In fact, they're a top 5 team in the Western Conference right now, and they're probably going to make it out of the first round. So, dream scenario case, I think he might be a Phoenix lifer, especially since they're finally getting better. So, yeah, would love to see him here. He fits in with LeBron James just like any other three would, because they score like the wind, and he's a passing genius, high level passer, of course. So it makes it so much easier for him to set them up and then continue to keep them looking like the superstars that they've already been. So that's going to be the case for all 4 of those names, really. Steph Curry. The thing about Steph Curry is who knows what he can do defensively, so you have to make sure that if you can bring in LeBron and Steph Curry, you got to make sure you have the right defenders. It's not just a seamless fit, because Steph is a little long in the tooth at this stage of his career, even though he's an offensive, he's a wizard offensively, obviously. Best shooter the game has ever seen, and that's not debatable in my mind. But at the same time, it's like, he does play the point guard position. He is a liability on the defensive end. He can be pedestrian with the basketball, even in situations where you would think he wouldn't be, like down the stretch of an NBA Finals game. Yes, he would throw the ball behind his back out of bounds. Like, he just has an impulsive type of way about him that tends to be a flaw in his game. Sometimes he just can't reel it in to simplify the game and make it very simple for himself when he needs to. That's just something I noticed about Steph Curry, but that wouldn't keep me from bringing him into this team. Hell no. We'll take his flaws and his greatness, and we'll put it together and we'll make it work. Clearly, he's a champion. Clearly, he's not somebody you have to worry about. But I will tell you this, and this is not a secret. He has not always shown up in closeout games for closeout games and playoffs. Sometimes he disappears, like James Harden. Sometimes he's not around, and that is something that I won't forget. Unfortunately, a lot of people will, but a lot of them games and championships they won in the game sevens, in the game sixes, in the closeout games, he had bad games, and that's a running theme, and that's something he should look to shake off going forward, no matter what happens. Assuming he'll stay with Golden State for the rest of his career, I'm gonna be looking at him when the playoffs come around. He's gonna have to play better in them closeout games. That's a fact. So there's that. Dame Lillard is another name. I mean, Dame, we've been wanting Dame on the Lakers since he got into this league. I think everybody on the Lakers has a certain level of respect for Dame that we don't tend to show to other superstars. It's something about Laker Nation. We just like Dame. I think it's because we're Kobe raised. You know what I mean? And Dame has a certain killer instinct that you don't find anywhere else in the league today. His Dame time down the stretch, you saw what he did in the All-Star game. He hit 2 1,000-footers to close out the game. He could hit a shot from half court consistently. He's just redefining his game and stretching his range further and further out. He's still a devastating finisher, still a devastating superstar in this league. Does he have some flaws? Yeah, he could be a much better defender. He's not that great defensively. And I'd like to see him kind of grow in facilitating the basketball, although it's not asked of him. He doesn't play with a lot of superstars, a lot of offensive talent, so that could be skewed. But I would like to see if he does end up playing with greater talent, if he's able to up his assists average. I think that's something, if you want to nitpick a Dame's game, he could get a little better at that. His handle is not elite. He's not Steph. He's not Kyrie in those areas. But he does have a strong handle, and he's obviously able to keep the ball, doing what it needs to do in order for him to continue on his path to the Hall of Fame. So Dame is just an amazing talent. Somebody I trust down the stretch of basketball games. Somebody I trust to close out series more so than I trust Steph Curry in those situations, believe it or not. And it's one of those things where it's like if we were able to get him on our team, I think it would be like a dream come true for a lot of Laker fans. We just really generally, the average Laker fan would welcome Dame Lillard probably faster than they would most superstars. That's just my observation. Just watching my fan base, the fan base that I'm a part of, we just love killers. We love killers. Dame is like a neutral enemy because we haven't had really many battles with him. We ain't had bad interactions with him. He has killed us, so we respect him. And we've beat him enough times to where we don't resent him. So it's that type of dynamic. And we know Bron loves him. We know AD respects him. So he's like a guy that we would love to have. And then finally, the fourth name, Bradley Beal. You've heard me speak on Bradley Beal if you watch my channel a million times. He's developed himself into one of the best scorers in the league. He's so devastating. Shooting the basketball pretty much from anywhere at this stage. He's mastered his game. And even though he's not a good defender, he's so elite offensively in scoring the ball that he makes up for it, just like anybody else of that caliber of offensive talent. And he just gets better and better each year. And he's in a bad situation. So like some of these other players who are in bad situations, once they get to good situations, I think their weaknesses are addressed more so. He'll be a better defender. He'll be better in some other areas because he'll be motivated to do so, and he'll have a winning culture to kind of help him stay sharp. So I would love to see him kind of leave Washington, period. But coming to the Lakers would definitely be something that we would appreciate quite a bit as a fan base, I think. You know what I mean? Just not to say that the Lakers don't have enough already, because we believe we do. It's not to sit up here and say that our team isn't good enough, that we're not happy with Schroeder and guys like that. I want to keep those guys on the team, even if we were to bring those guys in. To be honest with you, I see the Lakers keeping Schroeder in their future, even if we were to get a Steph, a Dame, a Bradley, all that. He can play with all those guys. So for me, we keep Schroeder no matter what. So that I just want to put that out there as well. I am happy with Schroeder. But, at the end of the day, there's always room to grow. There's always room to upgrade. We can always get better. Teams around us are getting better. So it ain't no reason to think that just because we have something that could beat the field, that the field won't continue to grow and then suddenly put us in a position to need to get better. So I think that's where we're headed. And you never know, man. You never know. Stranger things have happened. This scenario that we have is much less likely than some of the things that I'm talking about here in Dreaming. Anthony Davis and LeBron James, yeah, that was less likely. So anything can happen. That's the bottom line. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Thank you guys for watching. That's what I got. I'm out.